Start small and then go big. This is the philosophy I kind of created in order to help me, with improving things, right? So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into the video. But before I talk about this further, if you don't know me, my name is Christian. I'm just a normal guy who wants to improve. Subscribe, like, comment, share. You know the drill. But yeah, let's go now. So what does exactly mean start small and then go big? It basically means that in order to become the best version of yourself, you have to do the smaller things that seem unnecessary, but to be better, you have to do them. And it applies to every aspect of your life. So I just want to talk about it. Those little habits that you do, or those little things that you do, you are doing them, and then you can go into the next level. So I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. So for example, with the obvious one that came to me is with cold approaching girls. You cannot just go straight and cold approach like 10 out of 10 girl, right? Because of course you're gonna get rejected. And if you don't have any game, like it's zero chance for you. I was a person who had problems, who had so much social anxiety that I had problems with telling people good morning or good evenings, right? So I had to learn this, get my mouth to speak good morning, good evening, and then I could start talking to more people that are my age. Women and men, right? It doesn't matter. Maybe you had a break from the gym, like maybe you had an injury, or I don't know, you just had a break for your reasons, right? And your PR for bench press was like 100 kilograms, right? And you had an injury. Like, of course, motherfucker, if you're not gonna hit again 100 kilograms after your injury, because you're gonna injure yourself again. So you have to start small, with maybe an empty bar or 40 kg, and then do it for a couple of weeks, and then progress, and then 60 kg, then do it for a couple of weeks. You know what I mean, right? And then you can go to 100 kg. What else? But I think you know what I mean. Starting small and going big. This is doing those habits that starting with meditation. If you can't even meditate for 3 minutes, start with 1 minute. Or maybe if you can't even do it, 30 seconds, 10 seconds of meditation, and then do it for a couple of weeks. And then go 30 seconds. Do it for a couple of weeks. Then 1 minute. Do it for a couple of weeks. Many people are just rushing things, and I'm gonna do 30 minutes because I can. Motherfucker, you cannot even do 10 seconds. So why do you even bother? Start small and learn these skills. People, I believe, that really should lower their ego because they think that they are fucking the best, but they have problems even with like the easiest things, because they're so fucking addicted to dopamine and some shit. You know what I mean? What else could I as I said, with exercise, right? If you had problems, if you that skinny, that weak, that you even cannot do 10 push-ups, but you really want to do them, then start with 1 push-up every day or 2, and do it for a couple of weeks, and then progress 5, and do it for a couple of weeks, and then go to your 10. So you know what I mean? It's just creating those habits and realizing that you're not as bad, you're not the best as you think, right? Lower your ego a little bit. Like, you're not the best yet, right? Everyone had to start small. The businessmen, the entrepreneurs, the athletes that you inspire to be, right? They always started small with those small steps, and then they start to take those big steps into their careers, right? Into their businesses. You know what I mean, right? So I gave you a couple of examples. It could be literally, meditating for 1 minute, and then if you cannot do 5, if you cannot do 3, and and doing this for a couple of weeks, and then progressing to 2 minutes, right? With exercising, you cannot do 10 push-ups and start doing 2 push-ups for a couple of weeks, and then progress it to 5. Do it for a couple of weeks. and then do it for 10, right? It's boring. Like, I know it, like, bro, it's fucking boring, but you have to do it, because if you're not gonna do it, you're gonna stay in the same place, and you're gonna complain, and you're gonna regret why you haven't took action, right? I don't want you to waste your life. It's really important. Those easy steps are boring as fuck, and nobody wants to do them, but they are important for you to grow, and then you can go to big things. If you cannot, another example of cold approaching, you cannot cold approach girls, then start talking to older people. Do it for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and then start talking to maybe younger people, you know, who are maybe middle age, right? And then do it for a couple of weeks, month, and then do it for a couple of weeks, a month, and then progress to people in their 20s. Do it for a couple of weeks or for a month, and then you can go to guys to your age, right? Simple as that. But people don't want to do it because they think that they're fucking the best, and then they get reality check. So this is about improving, not improving. This is about realizing that you are not good as you think you are, and just live like humbling yourself. Of course, having an ego, thinking highly about yourself is important. But if you have proof, if you have evidence to prove that, of course, because if you don't have evidence to prove that, then your words are just words. Everybody can talk, but what about the action? Yeah, what about it? So take those small steps, and literally anything, and then those small steps are gonna combine into something bigger in the future. And I really, 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 with all my heart, I really want the best for you. Stay hard, because nobody will save you. The only person who can save you is the person I'm pointing right now. Peace out.